Hey, Ryan,
Hi.
you've taken out the bins.
Taking out the what?
The bins.
Like the garbage bins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done it recently.
Uh-huh.
By God.
I can't wait to hear where this goes.
But did you only take out the garbage bin this time?
No, I did the green can, the
compost one?
green waste one.
Yeah. That one I don't have stats on. But today we're going to talk about the other bin.
The blue one, the
blue
recycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how useless it might actually be.
Oh no. Wah wah.
This was a Patreon request
Oh, what? From who?
from our Patreon supporter.
Well, we have two.
We do?
We have Paul and Jesse.
Oh my God.
This is Jesse's.
This is Jesse's.
I know what Paul's is.
Oh,
He told me the other day.
did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, get ready, Paul. Yours is being queued up, and this is an example of how it's going to go. Superficially researched and delivered with passion.
Perfect. Just like the people want.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's how they're getting what they paid for. And that is a totally seamless transition into, if you're listening to this and it brings you joy and it makes you want to hang out with us, but you don't because we live in a time where it's hard to make physical time with the people we love. So we listen to their podcast instead. Maybe just throw a couple dollars our way.
Wow, you're a professional. That was smooth.
When it comes to mooching. Runs in my blood.
Yeah, it is. I think that's nice to say at the top because we've been saving it towards the end. But you know, it's a lot of work to do this thing, and it's nice to get vocal support like we've been getting. But it's also nice to get a little other support so that we can do some of the other ideas that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you're only motivated to put your resources, financial, time, human, into something that even makes you feel nice, feel free to, gamify this interaction between us and you by pretending that we're Tamagotchi. And if you don't send us money, we'll slowly surround ourselves with our own turds and die in your pocket.
A slow, painful death.
Yeah. That's only 4 kilobytes wide. Or maybe think that, we're like your Pokemon that you've got to train, and your Patreon dollars are like rare candies that will level us up into even better podcasters. And with that, our topic of the day is recycling and how it's a sham.
Oh, you don't even know.
I love this. This is going to make me sad, I bet. But I've heard about this thing.
Yeah.
That it's just like all show, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. We are at a point in industrial production that we've reached a scale of production where we can no longer reuse what we've made to any real practical effect.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything.
Pretty much. And there's a couple of reasons why. And listeners, I almost stopped at singular.
Well, we for sure have two.
Yeah. Bless you. Listeners, I am only kind of talking out my ass here with this topic. And I say that because I have in-person experience. This is one of the few I am qualified to speak on this topics. Because in the before time, yeah, kind of, yeah.
You were a garbage pail kid.
Yeah, but now we're together and I've grown a lot.
Good.
I'm not a garbage person anymore.
I meant
me.
not like you're a garbage person. I meant like a trash human.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like a toxic person.
right, but like you You mess around with garbage.
Yeah. I have a type, is what you're saying. Yeah. So in the before time, when I was a youth, I spent some time in Vietnam, and while I lived there, the group that I was traveling with visited several different recycling and waste management facilities in Vietnam. Super random. But the reason why it was so interesting was because places like California, the state, sends their recycling to countries like Vietnam.
The state of California sends all of their recycling to whole other countries?
Yeah. And on that note, we should also have a separate episode about what different states do with their shit.
That's weird. I would have thought that was like some sort of federal
Right?
thing.
But
Especially if you're exporting it.
sending it out. And I'm sure there are some like federal, like level export tax shit happening with that. But the state of Vietnam or the state of California sends its cardboard to Vietnam more than any other country that it exports its recycling to, because Vietnam isn't the only country that gets the U.S.'s recycling. It's just one of many.
Yeah.
For example, clothes go to a lot of countries in Africa, and
Like
they'll
Super Bowl shirts from the losers.
Yep, you've seen it. You've
Yeah.
seen it.
I do want to go to one of those places that gets those shirts because I just want to see all of the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl champions. Because that's never happened.
I was gonna say, is that because they've never won?
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit gets made, and sometimes it
want
gets, yeah, right. It just gets baled. Like literally, like you would bale cardboard.
Yeah.
And like wrap it in a big steel thing. It gets baled up and then put on a shipping container, and they just snip out on the other side and have huge markets full of random Buffalo Bills Super Bowl shirts.
Wild.
Yeah, it's a trip. Yeah, so we would go to these recycling facilities, and it would be crazy because the whole place would be staffed by local Vietnamese workers. But then the management would all be these like dudes from California that because it's their recycling company that's doing this processing work here.
Right.
Which is also a very interesting tax loophole in and of itself, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So we would be getting tours from these guys from like San Jose. And we're just outside of Ho Chi Minh City. And they're going through the recycling that's coming in. And even then, and this was in like 2009, God, so long ago. I shivered there for a second.
Yeah.
Because that was like almost 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
Gross.
Now we're getting old.
I'm so old.
I know.
I was but a youth. But even at that point, they were very real with us that these are the administrators of these recycling conglomerates, that most of that shit's not going to get reused.
They were just upfront with you about it.
Totally. Yeah.
So where does it go?
So it depends on what it is, but most of it's going to a landfill.
Just in another country.
In another country or in our own country. The stuff that does get shipped out tends to be cardboard or very specific kinds of plastic. Now, the stuff that we put in our bin, like I'm saying not even the royal we here, but like you and I.
Yeah.
Not the personal we, but the personal we, is not ever going to get recycled. Most of it.
Really?
Yeah, like a solid 90% of it.
Okay, here's why that makes me angry.
Yeah.
Because when I moved to Portland, I remember thinking about the garbage pickup service, because the garbage man person, what's the appropriate term for that?
I think it's like waste management specialist.
Waste management specialist.
Yeah.
Would open the can in the blue can, the recycling one,
Yeah.
and take things out that didn't belong in there, and they
Oh,
would
sure.
set it on top,
Yeah.
like shaming me
oh, interesting.
if I misplaced something in one can that didn't belong there.
Like stuff that they would take out stuff that could not be recycled.
Right. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, this place is
Yes.
like super serious about like proper recycling and all that. And it gave
Yeah.
me the impression that something was happening.
Well, when you moved here, which was in 2009,
Like
18?
17?
17,
18?
18? Yeah. That was right around the time that Oregon Sanitation had to start like a re-education program for their customers about what couldn't be recycled anymore. Because they basically said, like, they can't take any plastic trash other than soda bottles and like plastic jugs, like milk
Yeah.
gallons or like laundry detergent gallons. Anything else
Is garbage?
is garbage.
Really?
Yeah. And this is a quote from Trent Carpenter, excuse me, like Jesus, the the general manager of Southern Oregon Sanitation. He said, people were upset. They wanted to put their strawberry containers, their bags, their yogurt cups, all manner of plastic trash in the blue bins, and we had to re-educate them that it's just not going to a recycling facility and being recycled. It's going to the recycling facility and being sorted, landfilled someplace else because you can't do anything with that material.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
He gets us. Yeah, and it's been confusing for people because there are so many different public bins in public spaces that say put your cans here and your plastics here, and there are a couple of companies that will do like plastic film recycling. You know, you might have seen that before, or like takeout container stuff.
Yeah.
But they are tiny, and they are not who is receiving the vast majority of our plastics recycling. It's the big companies that are, like the ones that come get your blue bin.
Whoa.
And those companies are just not recycling it.
And everywhere there are Native Americans just crying.
Just one tear at a time.
Right. Just one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them.
All at once. A
Right.
trail of them, if you will.
That sucks.
It does suck. It sucks a lot because there are a lot of companies that still tout recycling as
Yeah.
a big part of what they do
Yeah.
to show that they're ethical. Have you heard of the phrase greenwashing before?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. So greenwashing is when a brand is trying to like stay trendy by putting on usually environmentally friendly like washes over the things that they do. So for example, like a company might be like, oh, we're switching to a cardboard container for our snacks now, or for this toothpaste or something, as
Okay.
as
Yeah,
opposed to a plastic container.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, like the ways that they produce their
Yeah.
They're-
I can think of one other specific example.
Can you?
Yeah.
Will you name it now?
I will not.
Will you lose your job if you name it now?
How dare you? I'm going to cut that out. That's our core audience.
Yeah, so you get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So greenwashing is when a company does that. And recycling is still really big. And, it's a problem. They shouldn't be telling their customers that, things like bags and containers are being turned into new things because they just aren't.
Yeah.
But politically, it's just easier to be like, well, gosh, we're just going to take everything that we can and recycle it. Like, but then, look the other way once it actually gets collected, because it's not. It's being taken and put on a different belt and put right back into the trash. Yeah. A big reason why is because of the different kinds of plastics.
Oh, yeah. And plastic isn't just everything. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like a huge industry.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it's so big.
What?
Yeah, I saw you. Listeners, my cat has no loyalty. These hoes ain't loyal.
What's my family motto? You remember.
En putas no hay verdad.
Exactly.
If anyone's got a good recommendation?
I heard it. I'm gonna leave that one in there.
Kind.
I can cut it out if you want.
No. It's good. I'll own my recommendations. If anyone's got a good one for someone who could make a nice like family crest,
Yeah.
I'll have a commission for ye. Yeah, like they put plastic in all the things. Plastic production is expected to increase threefold by 2050,
Oh my gosh.
which is pretty gnarly to imagine since it's already so fucking huge.
Yeah.
But because we're running out of the materials to make other kinds of containers, and it's just so fucking cheap to make them out of plastic instead.
So the reason for not recycling is because there's no process for it to be reused because of the type, or is it because of the type of plastic, or because there's many different types of plastic?
So yes and yes.
Fuck.
Yep. Because the type of plastic, I'll
So
answer
fuck twice.
I'll answer both of your questions, or address both of your points. The first being the type of plastic. The types of plastic that we use are generally like not reusable in the sense that like a plastic bottle that you'd use for like water, right? There's a reason why you don't want to have that be your forever plastic water bottle.
Oh, Stuff You Should Know did a really good episode on specifically water bottles and why they're fucking
The
awful.
fucking worst.
Yeah.
Just the worst. And we sell so many of them at my job. And anytime someone's buying cases of them, I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
They're really bad, you guys. Stop it. But they leak their toxins into the water.
Yeah.
And that's true for a lot of different kinds of plastics. Ones that hold food, ones that, Oh, have you ever seen how like you shouldn't keep all your sex toys together in a drawer?
No.
You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, well, stop it.
Wait, stop it or start it?
Stop it. Hide them. No, you don't want to do that because...
I have a display case for all mine.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's what those are?
Yeah. Yeah. I have it all lit up and everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing you see when you walk in the house.
Right. I never would have guessed. They're
It's like some people have
pristine.
trophy cases.
That's your trophy case. You're like a triathlete. Like you specialize in different events,
So you're not supposed to keep them together, like touching?
No, yeah, like you shouldn't have like a drawer full of them together because
I want to meet this person that just has an entire drawer full of these things.
so vanilla.
Maybe.
But I love that for us. That's good. Yes.
Also, how dare you, by the way?
Yeah, so people will have a drawer of them, or even just like keep them all together at the bottom of their drawer full of other things. And the reason why is different plastics touching each other can melt together just through
Really?
just through chemical reactions of them just touching.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, they're not durable to the extent that we think that they are. They leak chemicals into the water. They break down into tiny, tiny, tiny little particles that end up getting into everything, including our lungs,
Yeah.
embedded in our lungs, in the meat that we eat. It's crazy. Not to mention in the water. And and they degrade even in their like normal state. So that they can't be used.
Like
And,
it's
yeah.
natural state of being
Yeah.
is to degrade.
Yeah, it's to be fucky. And it's just so darn cheap to make. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's also highly problematic in its creation. And because there has been such crazy advancements in making plastics over the last 200 years, there are so many different kinds that there's just no one way to recycle them all. Because each kind is made of different components of chemicals
Yeah.
that will react to heat different ways, that will react to being ventilated different ways, that are like horrifically toxic or maybe not so toxic, you know?
Right.
So there's just no system for it. Then you throw in, like food on the plastics and actual trash being mixed into recycling because people don't know what they're doing. Can I tell you, the job that I work at has recycling bins
Yeah.
everywhere. They are combined with the regular trash at the end of each night.
Oh, yeah. Same with me.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, for that reason alone, there are some companies that are owned by both the garbage company and the recycling company, and they just pile all that shit together at the end.
Crazy.
Because it's just not worth the time to actually sort through it. Because we can't expect the people here to do that before they put it in the bin.
Yeah.
So they just expect that it's going to be garbage.
Wow.
Yeah. So this official here has basically said it's easier just to tell people, do your best, than to try to get them to understand that there are really only two things that can get recycled right now with any sort of reliability. Yeah.
So is the incentive then for those countries to take in our recycling or garbage?
They get paid to.
So it's just monetary.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you pay us and we'll take it.
We'll take it.
And then we'll throw it in our own
We're
landfill.
running out of room to put all this stuff. That's why we've got the great garbage patch floating islands out in the Pacific.
Oh, the bigger than Texas thing? Mm-hmm. The island?
Yeah, it's just made of garbage. Most of that garbage is plastics. Yeah. Just floating out there.
Wow.
Impossibly large, like the swamps of sadness.
And, oh, man. It's so crazy to me to think that, like, you can see that thing
From space.
and it's not changed anybody's mind about
No.
how we
Poor
live.
Al Gore.
I know.
Al Gore really gets me sometimes. He really gets me because I was a kid, like, just as I was waking up to, like, politics,
Yeah.
and he was,
Did he inconvenience you?
truthfully, it was. Yeah, that, like, his presidential race was when I was, like, Johnny's age.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, there's a difference here between these two.
And you're doing your George Bush impression?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I'm watching the television and I have to do impersonations of everyone that's
Yeah.
on there. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
He's had a rough go. Didn't get to be president.
No one
in
believed
what-
him about Man Bear Pig.
Right. And then Tipper finally had enough of his complaining about the plastic thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was like, enough.
Yeah.
Ah. Truly someone that has done some incredible work for trying to get people to just, like, care a little.
Right.
You know, just care a fucking little.
Yeah.
And what's awful is, like, think about how many times we keep flip-flopping to blaming it on the consumer, you know? Like paper straws
Oh, yeah.
or paper bags at the grocery store.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, don't actually use the paper bags because, you know, like trees.
Yeah.
Now we're using too many paper bags and they're not being recycled. So it ends up just being trash. So don't bring any bags. All right. Bring your own bags. None of those are bad ideas, but they're not the problem. The problem is industrial level plastics production and single use consumption.
Yeah.
It's on a huge, like, it's on a corporate, mega corporate scale that the average consumer, it doesn't matter if all of us decided to do those things with regularity. It would change nothing
Right.
until the way things are made changes.
Well, that's you're talking about fundamental change.
Yeah.
So if you don't give the people an option to pick A or B, you just say option C is the best choice for Earth and us, that's what we will do.
We as a society are
Yeah.
going to only give you this option.
Right. But
But-
that's not the free market.
No. Hell no. That ain't America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just easier to just take the things, you know,
Yeah.
and to keep saying it's the same vibe. It's the same energy, honestly, as like blaming poor people for getting like Starbucks. Like that's
tell me
why
more.
they're.
What do you
You've
mean?
never heard that?
No.
So like when people will talk about how they have a shrinking disposable income, and that's getting harder and harder to pay for the necessities and like the basics of life,
Yeah.
and that housing is increasing at an alarming rate. The middle class is shrinking and stuff. Like
Middle class is gone.
Uh-huh.
It's gone.
they're speaking truth, right? Yeah, ain't no middle class.
Yeah.
There's homeless, there's paycheck to paycheck, and then there's people who somehow have Bitcoin. And I'm like, how can you afford to even be thinking about that shit?
Yeah.
And then like someone who's so ignorant will say, like, well, it's because these people like think they can just get a Starbucks for $5 every day and not be struggling. Like, of course they're going to be struggling. It's their fault for spending money that they don't have
Okay. Yeah.
on these ridiculous luxuries.
Yeah.
And it's like, you missed the boat. Like, the point wasn't even there for you anymore. Like, the whole boat's gone.
Yeah.
You are left standing on the dock without a clue. And it's the same with this. Like, telling people that they aren't recycling right it's misleading. It's out of touch. It's misguided.
So
too late.
does that mean though the option is to just be honest with everybody and say doesn't matter what you're doing, it's all going to hell anyway?
Well, I mean, like, they've sort of put that out there already, right? And now they've kind of flipped back to the, like, you know, as long as it's not trash, like explicitly, then just keep doing what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, they've already told us what we can recycle. We're just not listening.
Right.
We're just choosing not to listen. So as an official who's like trying to regulate that industry, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, when you've told the people, when you've like figured out a way to at least do something, and they still won't do it because they're like, but you said plastic. And this is plastic. They're like, ma'am, that's your computer. You can't just put that in there.
What about e-waste?
E-waste is a totally different beast.
Is that something that actually goes to
Yes.
where they say it's going?
If-
That's good.
If you are actually recycling with an e-waste recycler,
Yeah.
then yes, that shit does. And for now, anyway, a lot of the things that are being e-recycled are things that like have relatively pure sources. Something like copper, you know, like the rare earth mineral stuff, you know, like some silver components, and
Isn't there a lot of gold and stuff
there
too?
can be a lot of gold and stuff, just like the wiring used. Oh, one that I think is super interesting, not what you'd necessarily think of as e-waste, but, you know, has like those components. There are cities in China that are like almost unilaterally, like everybody in the city works for factories that break down Christmas lights.
What?
Yeah.
Is it
like
magical?
They're like factory. No,
Oh.
no, it's hellish. They're like factory towns, and or
Yikes.
like a coal mine town, you know. And everybody works at the mine, but instead of a mine, it's just like a factory that breaks down Christmas lights that have come, or Halloween lights, you know, those string
Yeah,
lights
right.
that come from the U.S. that we
Except for that one little boy who just wants to be an astronaut. And the dad's like, Homer, no. You're going to work at the Christmas tree factory like me. Yeah. Or Christmas tree light factory.
Yeah, exactly. And they do everything there. They strip all of the like rubber off of the wires, and they take all the tiny little bulbs off, and they smash the glass. Smash. And they grind that up into a powder and send it off to somewhere else. And, it's like super specialized. And for now, a lot of e-waste recycler places are like that. They're just like crazy specialized. And those places are consistent enough, like the materials, that they can be reused in some way. But even that now is starting to like get dubious, because like think of all the Dells and the HPs and the Gateways and whatever that had all these different plastic shells made, as the covers for them.
Yeah.
Chromebooks even, I think, have like a bunch of plastic components.
Yeah, well, like a lot of those cheap computers still made of plastic on the outside.
It's not like a MacBook where you can make the whole thing in aluminum, It's a lot more expensive to do that. So now e-waste is getting a little complicated because you have to do some breakdown now.
Yeah. Oh, TVs too.
TVs.
Like have plastic backings and stuff.
Yeah. And they're less and less, materials. So it's like you're having to like do quite a lot of disassembly to get at the parts that are worth recycling. Because that's the other thing. Like none of these companies are doing this out of the goodness of their own heart,
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get something from
They're
it.
mining. It's just a different kind of mining.
100% that's what they're doing.
You imagine them like wearing overalls and
like the dwarfs.
No, like I was thinking like the Gold Rush 49ers.
Oh, sure, like a prospector kind of
Right,
guy.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
But in China.
There's this song from the Fallout games, and I guess it's a real song because they source their songs from like old, like ragtag kind of like Americana jazz music, and it's about like a prospector that's looking for uranium.
What?
Because like Fallout's like a post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear Fallout society.
Yeah. I'd never played the game, but you told me about it the other day.
Man, one of these days I'm gonna just sit you down. I'm gonna sit you down. I'm gonna make a plate, and you're gonna be like, I don't have time for this woman, and I'm gonna be like, I got you doing the Southern voice, and it'll be beautiful.
We're gonna do this for the rest of the night
if you want. Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah. So, the industry in general is at a weird point because like there are places like Oregon and Michigan that have been trying to institute some new legislation because their metropolitan centers are very liberal. But then they're like some broader constituent base maybe isn't.
Yeah, well, yeah, like this area that we live in, it's like a blue dot in the sea of red.
Pale blue dot, just like Earth. And so the cities will put forth some pretty radical like initiatives, and then it'll just be like on a state level. And really, like I said, like it's that macro level that actually matters at all.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the real solution is to switch to systems of reusing and refilling. I think I told you or I showed you, maybe we went in one of these stores that just has like big bulk like containers, and you like refill your shampoo in there.
Yeah.
And you refill your olive oil.
We did go in one.
We did, right?
It was a like a toiletry one where there was shampoo.
They
and
had laundry detergent,
hand soap, and all that stuff.
And you can bring any vessel you want, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
I love that because it's not even like they're making you consume their plastic thing that they have there.
Right.
They're like, no, we sell this by the weight. This is how much this costs. It dispenses, like it knows how much you're dispensing as you're releasing the valve. Like it's fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like you're literally just paying for the product and you're reusing what you already have as much as you can.
We should do that.
I know. We
should
really should. And for people like us, I'm saying you and only including us because I'll do what you want. who like to use a certain brand consistently.
Yeah. Oh man, that is wild for everybody who doesn't know. You are a wild card.
Oh, I'm the wild one.
Well, because you'll get a different brand toothpaste every single time.
Oh, yeah.
I've never met any. It was frightening, if I'm being honest. It was terrifying. Every single time,
This
different
woman
deodorant,
does not know commitment.
different shampoo, all kinds. Just I've never tried this one. Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Living life. They're called air signs and mercurial.
But you would do that?
Yeah.
You would commit to one brand, I guess, if it was through that.
Or just like, if not to that brand only, then to,
The idea of
yes,
it.
to just only refilling stuff. Because there are lots of places that do it.
We're very lucky that we live in a city that has options like that.
Big time.
Yeah, it would be nice if that kind of thing was more mainstream. It would be nice if the first time that we went in there, I wasn't all like, "Oh my god, this is incredible."
Why?
You know? Well, because that's how foreign it is to me.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Like, I didn't know that was a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was stunned by it,
yeah.
and it shouldn't be weird,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm. People like stuff.
Yeah.
They like new stuff. I like new stuff. I don't like missing out. People don't like to miss out, you know?
I've gotten more into the idea of like, especially like the hobbies and stuff that I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said this today. I like things that are quality,
Yeah.
things that are going to last for a really long time, possibly even beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
And so buying like used is really cool, because I'm not like contributing to the whole, I guess, process of creating something brand new.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just sort of taking something out of circulation. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fashion's a huge problem for that.
Yeah, and I'm so impressed by Samantha, who is very conscious about her clothing purchases, for that reason. Yeah, I was kind of like inspired by her. And
Oh,
how
yeah?
she's very committed to it, and
Yeah.
you are too. Honestly, like
am.
the both of you are pretty similar in that way. It's very impressive because it's easy to just go, oh, I want this, and I can buy it really easy.
Yep.
If you want something used, you have to do a little more homework. You have to dig for it, and you have to
dig.
make sure that it's like the right condition and the right thing, and you know, reputable sellers and stuff like that. There's a lot more work in it, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
And not just for the thing you're doing for the environment, but also there's a little bit more joy in having the thing.
I think so. I definitely think so. There's some folks that like don't enjoy the hunt. Like they
Yeah.
just want their thing.
Yeah.
And like I get that. I do. But I feel like it stunts people to only want like the new thing from the big place.
Right.
Because like yeah, there's an almost unlimited amount of new stuff being made. But if everybody's getting the same new thing from the same big place, then we're all kind of like wearing the same uniform every day.
Yeah.
And people like pretend that the things that they're wearing aren't choices, but they
becomes standard
are.
issue.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how trends happen, you know,
Yeah.
and that's like a vibe. That's
Like
fine.
think about what phone you have in your pocket. Mm-hmm. Standard issue.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it an Android? Go fuck yourself.
But you
Get
know,
over it.
I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah. And the sort of things that we buy on a regular basis that are covered in plastic are often things that we're making a choice when we buy.
Yeah.
Sometimes buying it based off how nice that plastic looks.
Oh my god, I know. Oh well, you know, I just went into that whole thing about the like buying used and all that stuff. The thing I'm talking about watches.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
sure.
And part of that experience is, does it come with all of the original
stuff.
Now, fortunately, the things that I'm looking for, the packaging isn't plastic.
Right.
Typically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah. And it's weird how like the thing that's inside can be the same thing.
Yeah.
But people will buy it and pay more for it based on whether or not they think the thing that it's in, the disposable thing, the
Yeah.
thing they're not even going to keep,
Yeah.
that they think it's prettier for now.
Yeah.
Which is so wild.
Yeah.
I see it at work all the time because, you know, beep, beep has.
I can actually do beeps.
Oh, hell yeah. It's more of like
you
auditory.
never listen to our show?
I just assumed that was like you making the sound. They have a lot of like name brand, like store brand versions
Yeah.
of independent brands, like Tide detergent, you know,
Right.
like,
Well, Target does the same thing, right?
yes. They have a couple of their own in-house brands that they don't even call Target. They
Yeah.
have like fake brands.
Up and Up.
Up and Up, Wild Fable, Favorite Day, A New Day.
There are always names that look like they would belong in the same house as the person who has the Live, Laugh, Love signs.
The men's clothing line is Goodfellow.
Yeah. Target has some good ass shit, though.
Yeah, but it's not made to last,
Yeah, it's not.
unfortunately.
Yeah. The clothing thing, you know, I have sort of that idea about clothes has started to creep in a little
Yeah.
bit too, inspired by you and Samantha, and this whole thing about my collecting hobbies and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like, we went and shopped for jeans for me
Yeah, and
You
you
know?
got some real quality jeans.
that are gonna last me as long as I take care of them.
And you
Yeah.
very easily could have just gone to Target and gotten another pair of
Yeah.
the faux Levi's that they have.
Right. Well, I mean, like, before I bought those jeans that I did, I tried just buying inexpensive jeans because I was tired of spending so much money on things that weren't lasting. But I wasn't putting my money in the right place. Is what it
Exactly.
was.
Yeah. You weren't putting your money into researching, like, why isn't this lasting?
Yeah, exactly. And they ultimately failed also.
Yeah.
So I thought of it at the time as just like biting the bullet and doing it, but like again, even though I bought them new, it required research and understanding what I was putting money into and sort of investing in a little bit.
But you enjoy that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually kind of nerd out on that shit. Yeah.
You actually really nerd out on that shit.
Well, I didn't know that I liked that process with other things, but turns out I just like the process.
Yeah.
And I can involve it in pretty much anything.
I find that one of your most very attractive qualities is your curiosity for things.
That's why we do the show.
100%. It's how we keep the spice alive,
Yeah.
listeners. Yeah. So, you know, I'm down if you're down. We'll start bringing our vessels to places.
We're making a commitment
Yeah.
to the environment
This is called
right here in front of everybody, in front of God and everybody.
This is an Odysseus pact, is what this is known as. Is when you swear something in front of other people who will hold you to it. So listeners,
God damn it. That kind of swear?
yeah, in front of God and everyone. Yeah. I wish Lush had refillable stuff.
Yeah, that seems like a company that would
Yeah.
do that, but they don't.
But they don't. They should. They already do it with their soaps, like their bar soaps. They have like just giant wheels,
Yeah.
and you can have them cut like as big a sliver as you want off of it.
I like their bags that say fight animal testing. Where there's two animals fighting.
Yeah, it's the two bunnies.
Yeah.
The boxing bunnies.
Yeah, I almost
Yeah.
want one for myself.
Noted.
Cool, kid. That's depressing, but
Yeah.
very interesting and I think helpful for a lot of people to understand.
Yeah, just like don't beat yourself up so much about not getting it right. It's probably I'll go into the landfill anyway.
Yeah.
But in places where you can get it right, pay attention to those. Like glass is still very recyclable. Recycle shit out of that glass. Recycle shit out of your cans.
Yeah.
Those are still very recyclable. And maybe think about doing some refillable shit just to reduce your own personal interaction with plastic because it's a bummer and it's a hassle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I love you. You're important.
Me or the earth?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a great rest of your week.
Cool. Thanks, kid.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Bye.
Bye.